Welcome, fight fans! MMA Station is here to bring you another epic combat story. In this episode, we will talk about one of the greatest lightweights in UFC history, Charles Oliveira, and why even though he lost his belt last year, the numbers are still saying he is the best in the division. Let's go! Charles Oliveira has come a long way on the UFC road since his first fight against Darren Elkins in 2010. After 13 years of his performances, ups and downs, breaking records, and taking UFC awards with every appearance in the arena, Do Bronx has become the embodiment of relentless and not giving up mindset. This submission artist has shown incredible progression from fight to fight and continues to do so. In addition to fighting in the octagon, Oliveira has struggled outside of it, with poverty, weight changes, injuries, and everything else you can imagine has tried to stop him on his way to the UFC gold. Regardless of everything in his way, the mission remained the same, proving the world wrong. Charles' story is inspiring and courageous, and there's no doubt that he will continue to write history every time he enters the cage. In today's fight promotions, where more attention addresses the ability to sell tickets than primal skill, Oliveira, with his enviable winning streak, was a bit invisible in a lightweight division full of superstars and top-class fighters. What adorns his brilliant resume is his patience and steely determination to get the title sooner or later. While casual fans were busy watching lightweight drama, Charles used that time to get better, perfecting all aspects of his fighting style, believing that his time was yet to come and that nothing would stop him to get and keep the UFC belt. Very frequently, we could see first-class fighters who, after many victories, come to their first defeat and were unable to come back, not even as a shadow of the fighters they were. That is not the case with the former champion of the Brazilian favelas, and this is precisely the story that proves Charles' ability to come back stronger and better every time. It is a fact that a fighter is only as good as his last fight, but what can we see if we look at Oliveira's last 5 super fights? But first, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the MMA action. UFC 262. Oliveira vs. Chandler. Let's go inside the cage and have a close look at what happened. From the first sound of the bell, Oliveira did what characterizes his stand-up game: high guard, applying pressure and moving forward. The constant lifting of the front leg and the threat of front kicks made it difficult for his opponent to close the distance, and Charles' technicality made it impossible for Chandler to explode as he used to. Michael managed to punch the Brazilian a couple of times, cutting him open. Oliveira responded with a shot for a successful double leg takedown and ended up stuck in a guillotine. The guillotine was tight, but it didn't pose a danger to the jiu-jitsu master, who scrambled with the wrestler and managed to take his back. With both hooks inside, Oliveira spent a minute with his opponent's back like a payback. After getting free with a dangerous position, Chandler tried to engage in a ground pound, and Oliveira did what he does best. Lying relaxed on his back with his hands behind his head in his come-and-get-it stance. Michael knew it was a trick, so he stopped the action, allowing Charles to get up swiftly, just so he can put him in the most dangerous position in this fight. Chandler began to lay siege to Oliveira by pressing him against the fence. He knocked him down with a hard right, forcing him into survival mode, and Oliveira spent the rest of the round on his back waiting for the bell. It was close and almost over in the opening round with non-stop action. At the beginning of the next round, Charles returned to the factory setting, high guard, high front leg, and exerting pressure until the first exchange in just a few seconds of the fight, where he managed to hit the opponent's chin with a front hook from a counter. In the next 10 seconds, Oliveira repeated the end of the first round, but in the opposite role, swarming Chandler with bombs, driving him against the fence, hunting him down instantly, and finishing him with clean punches in the ground and pound. That's how, after being almost knocked out in the first round, Oliveira became the lightweight champion after 11 years of his roller coaster career trying to put his name at the top of the division and displaying his all-around skills and warrior's heart. Amazing. Many champions in different sports say that it's easier to become a champion than stay a champion and defend your title multiple times. Oliveira's story after getting the belt is another proof of this statement. UFC 269. Oliveira vs. Poirier. Even though the belt was in his hands, Charles remained the underdog in his first title defense against Dustin Poirier. The situations in which Chandler managed to threaten the Brazilian left a high impact on the eyes of the audience and the other fighters who were in line to challenge him for the title, eager to exploit his weakness and take over his throne. All fighters in the division knew that under no circumstances will a matchup with the bloodthirsty Dustin be an easy task, especially with the title on the line. Only 7 months after his last fight, Doe Bronx was coming to the Las Vegas arena to make a statement. He bravely entered the octagon with a hungry and visibly hyped Dustin, opening the match decisively with his well-known pressure and a flying knee. In the first minutes of the fight, we saw dangerous exchanges, pressure, and grappling situations along the fence. Oliveira indicated that he can take the punishment for Dustin's punches. Poirier was looking for a hole. He put a lot of energy into every shot, and with a heavy right hand from a counter, he snapped the champion and sent him to the canvas, but failed to reach the finish. The Brazilian got back to his feet and continued to press as if nothing had happened at all in the first place. After a couple of grappling scrambles in the second round, Oliveira made the score even by spending the round on the top position in Dustin's guard. In the third round, he managed to climb onto Poirier's back and finish the BJJ black belt with a rear naked choke. Another Cinderella Man victory, moving from rock bottom to the top in one round. The underdog champion proved his critics wrong again and set himself on a different level, but there was more work to be done. Before we move on, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the MMA action. UFC 274, Oliveira vs. Gaethje. After a more detailed presentation of Oliveira's fighting style against Chandler and Poirier, we saw all the advantages and disadvantages in his arsenal on the floor or stand up and his evolution into a more dangerous and complete fighter. For UFC 274, unfortunately, Oliveira missed the scales by half a pound and he was stripped of the title, meaning he needed to fight for the belt again no matter what was the outcome of the Gaethje fight. Although he entered the match as the favorite, the knockdowns from his last 2 battles hinted that power puncher Gaethje could be the man to stop him. These facts would be a mental derailment for anyone else, but Oliveira used them as fuel. He entered the fight with his standard fight plan. The battle was open and attractive from the first minute. Regardless of 2 more knockdowns, a lot of punishment endured, and being cut open, he succeeded in getting back to his feet, and using his varied striking arsenal, he finally sent Gaethje to the floor. After several attractive transitions on the ground, Charles finished him with a rear naked choke. After the setbacks before and in the fight, Oliveira again showed his mental strength and skill improvement. If you do something once, people will doubt it and talk. But if you do it 2 more times, people believe it or stay silent. Oliveira was still on top, even without the belt, as no one before in history. The next challenge was coming from Dagestan, and it was a different animal. UFC 280, Oliveira vs. Makhachev. In a stunning turn of events, Charles Oliveira, known for his activity and relentless fighting style, faced Islam Makhachev only 5 months after his victory over Justin Gaethje. Oliveira, displaying his champion mentality, entered the fight with high expectations. However, he encountered difficulties in imposing his game plan against the physically dominant Makhachev. In the first round, Makhachev capitalized on Oliveira's minor flaws and managed to shake him with powerful strikes. Additionally, Makhachev's strong base kept Oliveira on the ground, limiting his offensive capabilities. Despite Oliveira's tenacious skill set, Makhachev managed to find a gap with a right cross counterpunch which sent the Brazilian on the ground, where the guard pass was followed by submission, ultimately leading to Oliveira's defeat. It's important to note that Oliveira's performance was not lacking. He displayed the same skills and techniques that had brought him success in his previous matches. However, on that particular night, Makhachev proved to be too formidable. Makhachev showcased his strength, effectively handled the pressure, and ultimately outperformed Oliveira, handing him his first and only loss in his last 5 fights. The belt was taken away, and the public started doubting if Oliveira could go back on the winning streak, especially considering what was coming downstream. Beneil Dariush and his 8 wins in a row. UFC 289, Oliveira vs. Dariush. In a highly anticipated elimination title challenger fight against Beneil Dariush, Charles Oliveira returned to the scene after an 8-month hiatus. With an impressive 8-fight winning streak, Dariush had followed a similar path to the title as Oliveira once did. Once again, Oliveira found himself labeled as the underdog, a familiar position that seemed to fuel his determination. From the beginning of the fight, it was clear that Dariush had the advantage, taking control of the exchanges and even managing to take Oliveira down, where he unleashed a barrage of strikes from the guard. However, Oliveira's solid ground game prevented Dariush from inflicting significant damage. Showing his resilience, Oliveira managed to work his way back up to his feet. Then, in a pivotal moment, Oliveira unleashed a high kick that shook Dariush, followed by a flurry of punches that ultimately led to his victory. This triumph not only returned Oliveira to the winning column, but also secured him a highly anticipated rematch with Islam Makhachev. With his win over Dariush, Oliveira proved once again that he thrives in the face of adversity. His ability to overcome the odds and secure victory when it matters most is a testament to his tenacity and skill set. As he prepares for the rematch with Makhachev, Oliveira will undoubtedly draw upon his past experiences and continue to refine his game plan. The rematch with Makhachev presents a chance for redemption and a shot at reclaiming his position as a top contender in the lightweight division. Oliveira's relentless pursuit of greatness and his unwavering champion mentality will fuel his preparation, ensuring that he is fully prepared to seize the opportunity and showcase his true potential once again. Fight fans can expect an intense and high-stakes battle between two formidable fighters vying for their place at the top of the division. To recap, the statistics are clear. Oliveira's resume stands out high above the top fighters in the lightweight division. Unlike his competitors, he has a remarkable track record against the top 5 fighters, winning 4 out of 5 bouts. Others like Chandler and Poirier reached title contention through different means, such as knockout victories or wins against opponents past their prime. Gaethje's title opportunity came against Chandler, who lacked significant victories in the UFC. While Dariush had an impressive win streak, he lacked the wins against high-ranked opponents. Makhachev's path to the title was relatively easier, with a 10-fight winning streak, but without victories over top 5 fighters. Moreover, Oliveira's victories are notable for their finishes, with knockouts and submissions showcasing his diverse skill set. These factors illustrate Oliveira's superiority within the lightweight division and set the stage for an intriguing rematch with Makhachev. That is why we can truly say that Oliveira is still the best. He proved himself in the darkest moments, and no wonder he's coming again to take his belt back no matter what. And that wraps up another fight story with MMA Station. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action. Thank you for joining us on this incredible ride. Until next time, stay hungry, stay passionate, and keep supporting the world of combat sports.